How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall. In today's video, we're going to be talking about former Aggie Jonathan Gibson and how he's one of just 17 players to make the leap from NMSU to the NBA. He's a guy I feel like is kind of forgotten about in New Mexico State basketball history. I feel like not a lot of people talk about him, but he's obviously a great player for us. Took him a little bit to get to the NBA. Had to play for us, played overseas for a little bit, but I mean, obviously a great player overall to make the NBA, especially from a mid-major like NMSU. So let's get straight into him. In his first year at NMSU during the 2006-07 season, he led NMSU to the NCAA tournament, where they lost to Texas in the first round against Kevin Durant, lost by 12 points. Put up a good fight. Kevin Durant had like 22 points on just 13 shots, shot pretty well from the field, got to the free throw line, made all his free throws. Gibson didn't come off the bench that year, only averaged 2 points a game, only played about 7 minutes a game. Played in that game, not too sure if he scored or not, but he still got it in and got PT against Kevin Durant, probably one of the best players he's ever went up against, and also went up against him in the NBA as well. That same year, the Aggies did play against Eastern New Mexico in an exhibition in Hobbs, apparently. I don't know why they played in Hobbs whenever, Eastern New Mexico obviously isn't in Hobbs and NMSU's obviously in Las Cruces. But I don't know how many times NMSU's faced ENMU in basketball. I'm not sure if that was the last time or not. I just know usually when we play against Division II opponents, it's usually Western and Highlands. Eastern is the other Division II school in the state. So let me know if you guys think that we should match up against them eventually. I do think Eastern is the best team out of those three, at least as of recent. I know last year, not this past season, but the season before, in 2024, they made the NCAA tournament for all Division II. So that was pretty cool. So maybe they could be a good matchup. Actually played against one of their starting centers in high school who went to Highlands in Albuquerque. In Jonathan's second season of the Aggies, he got a lot more PT, averaged about 12 points and 27 minutes per game. Played the most games in a single season in his whole career at NMSU at 35. Started in 32 of them. The Aggies weren't as successful as they were the season prior, but they still made the WAC championship game against Boise State, but lost 107-102. Boise then went on to go play Louisville in the first round of the NCAA tournament, where they lost 79-61. Pretty funny how we went up against Boise State in the WAC, back in those days, prior to 2010. And now obviously Boise State goes against UNM each year whenever they're in the Mountain West and all that. So they get best of both worlds in Mexico. In the 2008-09 season, Gibson averaged 14 points, played in 31 games, started 30 of them, played 30 minutes, a lot of 30s in there. The Aggies were just 19-15 that year, kind of similar to this past season when we went 17-15. Although that team did get a WAC tournament win against Boise State, so got their revenge, won by 10 points, 80-70, but they unfortunately fell to Utah State, who was the 1 seed, 71-70 that very next game. The Aggies did go 23-12 the next season, 11-5 in conference, and did get back to the NCAA tournament, but they lost in the first round. But they got revenge on Utah State, winning in the championship game against them. So it was good for Gibson to get their revenge and make the tournament his first and last year at NMSU. They lost to Michigan State that year in the NCAA tournament, 70-67. Super close game. Actually went against Draymond Green, who played in school for 4 years. Gibson obviously played for the Aggies for 4 years. Again, you just don't see that in college sports nowadays. But, still cool to see that happen back then. Gibson was teammates with arguably one of the greatest Aggies ever, Wendell McInnes. Obviously, McInnes died a few years after Gibson left. But to have both those players on the same team makes sense why they made the NCAA tournament. And if they would have played for years to come, who knows how much damage they could have done in the WAC. It's pretty cool how they, went against all these big-time NBA players, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, obviously teammates with the Warriors, and then even Paul George whenever he was with Fresno State in the WAC. He played multiple seasons of both the LBA and the CBA, LBA being in Italy, and the CBA obviously being, China. Especially in China, he dominated. He had a year, I think his third year playing overseas, second in China, averaged 42 points per game. Throughout his whole international career, he averaged 29 points. In the LBA, his first year, he averaged 18 points. And then from there on, he just kept improving. He had multiple seasons where he was scoring 20, over 30 a game. So he just proved that he was really good overseas, and hence why he had a chance to play in the NBA for both the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Throughout his 2 seasons total, 1 for each, only played about 13 minutes a game, but averaged almost 7 points a game. So that means his per 36 minutes are probably about 18 to 20 points per game. So he knew how to put the ball in the basket. And, his senior year at NMSU, I don't think I even mentioned it, he averaged 17 points a game. So his scoring improved each year in college and improved a lot playing internationally and the NBA as well. His last few years playing internationally, his stats did go down a bit to about 18, and then his last year he only averaged 12 points a game. That's going to happen when you get older. He was about 35. He's 37 now, which is crazy to think. A dude who played for the Aggies who was really good, not even 20 years ago, is like pushing 40. Just goes to show you how fast time flies. As you see, I'm talking a lot about his scoring. That's what he did best. I mean, he could rebound a little bit, could pass a little bit. Averaged over a steal and a half a game overseas. Had a couple years at NMSU where he was averaging over a steal a game, kind of like Deontay Bostic this past season. He, kind of reminded me of that in a way. but that wasn't his main part of his game. His main part was scoring. Even though he averaged 2 points his freshman year, just improved a lot. That was the only year he didn't really start a whole lot, and he's a freshman, so what do you expect? Then all his other 3 years just did a lot of great things. And, talk about him not, playing a whole lot his freshman year. That goes back to a video we made recently talking about Gabe Pickens and Jacoby Osborne and how important that was to have 2 freshmen playing that many minutes, because maybe they can be the first players in a while to play all 4 years at MSU. They could be similar to Gibson in that aspect, as well as McKenna, who we talked about earlier in this video. Something else I forgot to mention earlier on is that Gibson was a part of the 2009-10 All-WAC teams, along with Paul George as well. So pretty cool for them to share that moment and playing the NBA together. Paul George was obviously a lot better of an NBA player. But again, when Gibson got in the games, he showed why he deserved to be there. Wish he would have had a chance to be there a little bit longer, because he didn't play the most minutes. When he did, he filled up the stat sheets. Like I said, played 13 minutes a game, averaged 6 points. If you play him, maybe 30 minutes a game, he's scoring double digits for sure. So I wish he would have a chance to more improve himself. Some of the games he played in might have been meaningless games, but at the same time, you're still in the NBA. I believe he even started a few games in the NBA too, which is pretty cool. But that's going to close the video overall. His NMSU career, he averaged 12 points per game, but that last year averaged 17. The year before that averaged 14, averaged 12 the year before, coming off just averaging 2 points his first year. And again, I know I'm talking all about his scoring and nothing really else, but that's what he did best. Did a little bit of everything, kind of, but his scoring was definitely top-notch and a lot better than anything else he did. Played overseas, averaged almost 30 a game throughout his whole CBA career, which is just insane. Kind of digressed there a little bit at the end, but again, with ages, that's going to happen. Started off kind of slow, but in that middle, in his prime overseas, you cannot stop him. Had a year averaging 42 points per game. That's got to be some type of record, right? I mean, averaging 42 points per game, that's pretty insane. That's going to close out the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.